Iran may acquire powerful new fighter jets from China, modernizing their air force for potential conflicts in the days or the weeks ahead if something breaks out again. Right? The dust from the 12-day war, as it's being called by Donald Trump, has barely settled, but Iran is already planning its next move. After managing to get the attacker to agree to a ceasefire, Israel to agree to a ceasefire after just 12 days. Iran's supreme leader Ayatollah Khamenei has claimed victory, but behind closed doors, the Islamic Republic knows that they have weaknesses and they're working to shore those up. By the way, it was technically Donald Trump that brokered the ceasefire, but both sides agreed, and the attacker agreeing to a ceasefire after only 12 days and not having achieved any of their war goals suggests an effective defeat. Now, back to this. What's Iran's main weakness, or one of its significant weaknesses? Air power. I made videos on this before saying Iran was prepared not to have control over their own skies. They knew they would not be able to maintain control over even Tehran's airspace if a conflict did break out. That's how old and unusable, essentially, against Israel at least, how old and unusable the Iranian Air Force is. But there's potentially now a window for Iran to see if they can remediate their weaknesses to some extent. Let me explain. But before I do, please help me out by going to my bio in my TikTok, clicking on the link, going to my YouTube channel, and subscribing. Trust me, if you want to keep hearing from me, this is a good backup solution, best believe. All right, anyway. Also, actually, if you go to YouTube, I'm Mahfouz Talukta, at Mahfouz Talukta 25. So if you want to just search me up, you can do that as well. Now, back to the topic. During the 12-day war, Israel's F-35s tore through Iranian airspace, almost uncontested, and Iranian air defenses were degraded beforehand through infiltration and sabotage, as many reports now confirm, and as I reported, during the 12 days actually. Iran's lack of air power to counter the aerial threats highlighted a critical vulnerability that could prove even more damaging in round 2, should a round 2 come up. Enter China's Chengdu J10 fighter jets, Iran's potential game changer. These aren't your grandfather's fighter planes from 50 years ago, right? Like Iran's current 50-year-old jets from the Soviet era. No, these J10s are 4.5th generation, 4.5 generation technology. They have advanced radar, avionics, which is aviation electronics. They have stealth capabilities, and they have offensive air-to-air capabilities that could give Iran the edge they need. It could actually challenge Israeli air superiority if they attack Iran again. Moreover, Pakistan's use of these exact J-10s from China demonstrated the capabilities of these Asian warplanes. Pakistani J-10s equipped with PL-15E PL-15 Chinese long-range air-to-air missiles downed a reported 5 Indian aircraft. Now it's being confirmed. I confirmed it at the time. Loads of people denied it, and then it came out to be true. So they downed 5 Indian aircraft during the Pahalgam conflict a few months back. I'll be uploading my coverage of Pakistan, India onto YouTube soon, so subscribe to brush up on your recent history. It'll be there with playlists, and it'll be all organized, not a mosh pit like it is on TikTok. Now, if Iran got these jets with these missiles, it would be bad news for the Israeli Air Force should they come knocking again. Iran's defense minister recently visited Beijing, and sources suggest negotiations are heating up fast. Now, why the rush? Because many suspect this ceasefire between Iran and Israel is temporary. Netanyahu has already vowed to continue weakening the, quote, Iranian axis, and Iran has been boasting of standing up to their enemies in a world that largely remained silent while faced with aggression from Israel. Case in point, of course, the besieged Palestinian territory of Gaza these last 2 years. So China might be selling Iran 40 J-10s. That's the rumors that are being circulated in the media. 36 is a number that comes up. 40 is a number that comes up. The J-10 deal represents more than just new planes. It's Iran's attempt to rapidly upgrade their air capabilities. And air-to-air missiles are crazy. If you've got 2 jets and you've got capable air-to-air missiles, they'll fire one. Oh, no! Parachute, hopefully. Well, I say hopefully. Well, hopefully for the side that's just got a jet shot down. Anyway, Iran's trying to upgrade their air force capability, something that wasn't even a factor in the 12 days war, right? They didn't even really have an air force that could do anything. If these jets, these J-10s, reach Iranian hangars, though, before the next escalation, the balance of power in the skies over the Middle East would shift dramatically. In such a case, further airstrikes against Iranian soil may not be so easy to execute. And the turtle that I keep talking about, Iran acting like a turtle, just tanking the damage and waiting for their enemy to fail to outlast them, because they'll be firing missiles, in response at the Israeli homeland, right? That's what they did during the 12-day war. So this turtle that defended and pretty much could only defend and lob missiles back, they might actually acquire some claws to swipe back at the air over their own skies. Time will tell. For the unbiased news and analysis, I just had a brain freeze there. For the unbiased news and analysis without the Western spin, guys, don't forget to heart and bookmark, please. It helps me, reach more people like yourself who want to know the news and the analysis in a summarized way, not sticking to TV all day, but they also want it without the Western spin. So come on, heart and bookmark. For the news and analysis without the Western spin, I'm Mahfouz. It's Saturday. Enjoy your weekend, and I'll see you on the next one.